Good morning and welcome to an all-new Eye of the Tiger. I'm Jaden Miller.
And I'm Cam Madrano.
The popular restaurant La Provence will not allow students to take pictures there before homecoming this year. We go to Landen Reynolds with more.
Thanks guys. I'm outside La Provence where they recently announced that they are not going to allow students to take pictures before their homecoming dance because of a wedding and a retirement party that is taking place the same night. Students Hunter Hatch and Leah Salas share their thoughts on the topic.
I understand that we can't take pictures there because I get it's a business. I am sad about it though because the pictures always turn out really good. But again, it's a business and they probably have customers and stuff that don't want to walk through all the kids when they're just trying to enjoy their meal. But
local park, Diamond Oaks, will be more crowded than it already is, and other places they'll just fill up more.
And here's a statement La Provence sent out where they state that photos are not allowed. La Provence suggests for students to take pictures at the scenic Oaks Forest by the restaurant. They also have an idea of opening their lounge up for $25 for each student for the future dances. If you're interested, you can contact their event manager, Kendall Burley, or go to their website for more information. Now back to news.
Thanks, Landon. Man, that was a nice spot to take pictures at.
Yeah, well, there's always the fountains. While we're on the topic, here's a look at the schedule for homecoming festivities. The parade will take place after second period, leading into lunch. Student government will host the homecoming rally after fourth period, where students will then vote for homecoming king and queen. And finally, the homecoming king and queen will be announced during halftime at tonight's homecoming game.
September is Suicide Prevention Month. Students will have a special suicide prevention presentation on Monday.
Just making them aware of kind of the signs to look for, not only in themselves but in other people, right? Signs that they're low mood, depression, possibly thinking about suicide, and the resources that are available to them on campus when they're concerned about themselves or a friend where they can go to so we can get that person the help that they need.
The presentation will take place during second period.
We now go to Braden Holcomb for sports.
Good morning and welcome to this Friday's edition of EOTSN. I'm Braden Holcomb. Last Saturday, varsity water polo player Shannon Young scored her 210th goal, breaking the girls' water polo career goals record at Roseville High School. We go to Dean Estathiou with more.
Four-year varsity water polo starter Shannon Young feels that the support from her team has helped her break the record.
Since I was a freshman, because I played as a freshman on varsity, all of the upperclassmen kind of helped me grow, and then as they graduated, my teammates that are more my grade have definitely kind of pushed me to try harder and just kind of help other people learn too, so it's helped me throughout the process.
Young hopes her personal game will set an example for her teammates.
I don't really see breaking the record as inspiring them, but I kind of hope that by breaking the record they kind of do watch me a little bit more and kind of see how much effort I put into it, and I hope that they kind of take that and run with it and kind of do the same thing.
Teammate and junior Alexa Garcia believes Young's self-drive has helped her break the record.
I feel like she's really motivated because she was almost there, and we were all getting super excited, and when it happened at the tournament, and so she was just working hard and coming to practice all the time, and even helping others to improve her own self.
Varsity girls water polo coach Paul Stewart believes that Young's experience helped her start her career strong.
Her freshman year when she got in the pool, I could tell she was a player. She threw that ball so hard. She was able to swim up and down the field. She just understood, probably from soccer and from watching her brother play, that she could do this.
Stewart believes that with the difference of time, it has become a lot more difficult to achieve this goal.
I was here with Maddie Stevenson, and I came in and I saw this girl could play. And back in the day, you only needed one super good player in water polo. So with Maddie Stevenson, everybody would throw the ball and she could score 100 goals in a year. So I could go to playoffs with one good player. So it's harder for Shannon and Annie to get the wins because every team is a team that's playing year round. But it's neat to see that over 4 years, she's put this together and now broken a record, and with still about 8 games left, she might push it. That is really hard to reach for a while. So it might be up there for a while.
And don't forget to show up to tonight's homecoming football game against River Valley at 7:15. And that's all on your home for Roseville High School sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. Eye of the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. Now we go over to entertainment.
Thanks, Braden. Today, two extremely prominent rappers dropped albums, Logic with his new album Young Sinatra 4 and Lil Wayne's The Carter 5. Starting with Logic's album, I was nearly offended by how bad it was. The first couple of tracks emanated this near narcissistic feeling from it, and he seemed to consider himself like some rap god, and just by the quality of this album, he obviously isn't. I feel like he really disgraced the Wu-Tang Clan with their feature on this album too, because their song on the album was just them and no Logic. The beat was also basically ripped off of Wu-Tang's song Bring the Ruckus. Honestly though, ever since his second album, Logic's quality has been on a steady decline, and this album definitely follows this trend. While Logic's new album was notable for how bad it was, Lil Wayne's wasn't notable at all. Now, The Carter 5 was a great album, don't get me wrong, but I really don't feel like it lives up to Lil Wayne's status. This album doesn't have this usually hype feeling that Lil Wayne usually puts out. Travis Scott has a feature on this album as well, and he's sounding a lot like Lil Wayne, and it's even hard to distinguish the two at its times. XXXTentacion also has a feature on this album, and that song is one of the worst on the album, but just because of X's feature, it will probably blow up. And now we go back to news.
Thanks, Jackson. An RHS teacher found Going Green productive.
Math teacher David Ray has been recycling his students' trash for 13 years. Ray's first brush with recycling came through his grandfather, whose motives were born out of necessity.
When I talk about my grandfather, I tend to tear up because he's a very, he was a very, very kind man. And every time I grab a piece of recycling, I think of him. And I think my grandfather did it because he needed to for the money. And he didn't have as big of an awareness about the greater good for our planet, maybe quite so much. And me, it's both.
Ray understands that every little bit makes a difference once it all comes together.
Recycling one aluminum can is not going to make the difference in our world, one aluminum can. But if hundreds of thousands of people are all recycling, that adds up to a lot of aluminum, a lot of waste that's not now waste, it's actually being used, so only good comes from it.
Ray's student, Senior Nicholas Kimball, appreciates Ray's forethought.
Mr. Ray's classroom is one of the only classrooms that I've noticed has like a recycling can, and I think that's really great because we should do whatever we can to reduce our waste and try to save the environment.
Ray plans to continue recycling.
Banned Book Week is this week.
For Banned Book Week, librarian Lauren Zadibble took it upon herself to initiate a Twitter competition in honor of banned books throughout the U.S.
All right, who's next? A really important thing that student should take away is that it's all about your choice to read, and that goes for books that you don't want to read either. If you do not want to read a book, take the power to close it, put it back on the shelf, and say, I don't want to read this book anymore. But please don't make that decision for other people. It has to be okay for students to go ahead and have the choice to find themselves or their experiences in a book and be able to read that. And I don't think anybody has the right to take that choice away.
Freshman Nicole Ladkani checked out the banned book, The Hate You Give. She feels that the issues it dives into make it worthwhile, not something to be banned.
I feel like they're being overprotective about things that are happening in real life. They're shielding their children too much. I don't feel like that's, in my opinion, I don't think it's good because they're just shielding them from the real world.
The winner of the competition will win a Barnes & Noble's gift card. And that's it for us today on Eye of the Tiger.
And remember, we're always on eyeofthetigernews.com. Have a great homecoming.